Adversity? Bring it. The struggle? We welcome it. Snooze on life? Never that. We are Dave Regina and Mike Pirelli, and this is the No Snooze Podcast. Come on. Welcome back, No Snooze Podcast, episode 118. I'm in the booth with my brothers. The best trio in the game. You like the dramatic pause?
That was good.
Michael, the show, Pirelli. Got Claudio, the voice, Valenzuela. And I am Dave, the body, Regina. Michael, before we get into it, I just have to say, it's pre-9 a.m. and I've been driving for 2 hours straight. Had to drop Callie off in Yonkers. Didn't get to work out this morning. A little traffic going down to Yonkers, then shooting up to the studio in Stanford. Off of a mediocre sleep. Yeah. 2:30, which I'm sure you these days are getting a lot more than I am.
Oh, yeah.
But just know, I'm not really feeling it today, but I am bringing my best.
Okay.
All right.
I wouldn't expect anything less. We're in the same boat. It's a nightmare.
We're in the struggle boat.
Parenting's a nightmare.
We're in the have kids, they said.
Unrecorded, we chatted for about 30 minutes talking about how chaotic parenting is. And I was saying in my last month, shout out to Dana, who's been an absolute trooper lately.
D-Train.
I've been on edge when it comes to parenting at home. It's the most fun I've ever had as a parent with two, but it's so chaotic because it's two crying babies. You know, Livy's jealous of Juliana. Livy wants daddy for 2 minutes, then wants mommy. All of a sudden, you feel rejected. You're like, wow, like,
isn't that tough?
I just woke up, and then you sent me back to sleep. So, like, at least when Juliana cries, I'm like, you don't have a choice.
Right. Yeah, man, I don't know. I mean, going back to the newborn phase, I can't even, like, get in that mindset right now.
I've decided I'm not a huge fan.
Ready to trade it all in. Grow up till 2 or 3.
And tell me if I'm wrong. I might get some hate for this. Some people love that phase. Like, now that Livy's older and, like, they're friends and you can talk with them and negotiate and, like,
negotiate.
You want to listen to the Goldfish song?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah. Like, there's some type of response.
Yep.
Now I'm living for, like, half of a smile, and it's not even because of you, you know?
Yeah. Just the eyes open, looking at you, can't communicate at all, like moving an arm. And
I have to say, though, my left bicep is going to be super tight. I've been really keeping it on the left side because I'm just trying to work on that. Yep. So that's been the complimentary move right now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure parents obviously can relate to all of this, but, you know, there's times where, you know, you'll be in a house by yourself and, you know, you're just on duty or whatever. So there's been a couple mornings that, you know, I'm responsible to bring her down to Yonkers and, you know, the whole nine, whether it's the drop off at school, the pickup, all that stuff. But what I find so challenging in the morning sometimes is, you know, you want to creep out of bed, and unfortunately Callie still sleeps with me, so, you know, that's mistake number one. Mistake number one. But so I try to creep out of bed in the morning, and then she'd be like, Daddy, no, and then she starts crying. Then I'm like, all right, I gotta lay back down. So this morning I try to sneak in, go take a shower as soon as pretty funny. As soon as I sit on the toilet to go to the bathroom, I hear the wah, and I'm like, Dally's in the bathroom, baby. And then sure enough, she calls me Dally.
Strolls in.
You know, she strolls in and she's like, hold you. And she's literally sitting on my lap while I'm going to the bathroom, trying to give her some courtesy flushes. And I just want to know, do other people go through this? You know, and I'm sure they do. But then I put her back in the bed and she's like, please lay down with me for just 5 more minutes, 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, baby, 5 minutes. Then she's like, I want a bottle. So then I get her the bottle. I go back to turn the shower on. And then she comes back in. She's crying. She's watching me shower. She's like, oh, Dally got a toto. That's what she called. Dally got a toto. I'm like, no, baby, turn around. Go watch Coco Melon. Like, it's just nonstop. Then I go down to Yonkers, sitting in traffic on the way. Then traffic up to Stanford. Yo, my man. And I know that a lot of parents go through this type of stuff. But it takes a skill because I feel like I want to snap. Yeah. I really want to snap. And I have to put on my little Joel Osteen and, you know, ask for God's favor. Ask for God's favor in abundance.
It's funny. You look to Joel Osteen, I look to Lil Reggae. Take me to the ocean.
Or Lil Baby, huh? Yeah, I'm either one. I'll either put on a little Future or Lil Baby. and or Joel Osteen. So,
I have to say, you don't have to lean on it. If you don't drink, that's fine. But but one night
goes a long way.
I'll tell you, I got a nice whiskey in my, and I
don't know what's whiskey.
I haven't had a nice whiskey in a while. You know when you haven't like been to the watering hole in a while?
No,
I poured a nice one. Right? I actually threw it on ice because I'm like, I'm going to need to try to down this a little faster than savoring the taste.
Yeah.
Took the edge off. Nice little reset. I did fall asleep like without doing any of my bed things.
How big was this cup,
Didn't
Mike?
charge my pretty good one.
Yeah,
that was a good size.
He said, I poured a good one.
I don't want to get into details because Dana's going to be mortified I mention this. But we've been doing construction for a long time. And when you do construction, there's holes. And it's getting the change of the seasons. There's things outside that want to come inside. That are small,
like
leaves? Rhyme with nice.
Like leaves? Oh,
rhyme with nice.
Ah, rice.
And we had a little battle, But I don't know if you've listened to the past, but it wasn't the Great Rat War.
That's true.
Thank God. And we got the little guy.
That's good, but that's also that has nothing to do, I don't think, with the house. That's just because you're doing so much construction.
We have a lot of holes. We got a lot of holes.
Sounds like my life.
Do you ever use that foam stuff?
Got a lot of holes. A lot of holes in my life.
Do you ever see that phone stuff? It's called Great Stuff. Thank you, Diane and Patsy Peter for the recommendation. It's this little like spray can, and you just put the top on and twist it, and it snaps it open, and it's that insulation foam that you see. I had a ball shooting this stuff everywhere in the house.
So that's you filling holes?
I
thought you were like sitting there with some what's it called?
Spackle.
Yeah,
that's
spackle.
These holes. You need a lot of spackle to fill. Like,
gotcha.
One hole, I literally used the whole can. It's still not full.
See, I don't know how to. I'm not a big spackler.
I'm not handy, which can tell you how fed up I was to go out to Home Depot, spend $60 on traps and filler, and take 4 days to get the guy.
Well, you got him.
We got him. We don't know if we got his family.
I don't know if you got a wife and kids, but
But then you know how it is, right? You do that, and you're like, maybe we just rip up the whole kitchen and we just start the construction.
I mean, if you're gonna do that, maybe just sell the house, get another one, move in. And fuck it.
I was close to just burning it. I was like, well,
call the fire department, get everybody out. Our guys were in the hotel for the rest of our lives.
Chalk it up as a loss.
That is awesome. I got a question. So, what do you think of this this egg content?
Love it. By the way, I've watched it multiple times, and I'm trying to figure out if those are like small eggs. Because I was thinking about doing that, like trying to test it, and I don't think I could do it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I
big mouth.
I kind of have a large
huge
mouth. Yeah, kind of have a big mouth.
More ways than one,
for sure. But it's very. So people were asking, are those eggs fake? Backstory on all of this: I have been eating eggs for the past 14, 15 years, and it stemmed from my Crohn's disease. There was only a certain number of foods that I could really digest well at that time, right? And I was in high school, and then I would get on the golf course, and I need something to like eat. So my brother Matt, shout out Matty Reg, used to always make fun of me because I would put him in a Ziploc bag and put them in my pocket and put through 2 golf bags on me, and like while I'm walking down the fairway, I'm just popping eggs. But I didn't really have time. If you think about efficiency, right? We're going to talk about how to think bigger in our episode today. But to my point, like if I'm holding 2 golf bags, I can't sit there like, taking multiple bites of eggs. So I would just shove the whole egg, which is hashtag quick 6, because each egg has 6 grams of protein in it.
Quick 6.
Right? So like it was just an efficiency thing. So like hole number 1, I'd pop 1, hole number 2, 3, and I'm just eating the eggs. So it stemmed from that.
How many eggs did you eat?
5.
18?
4 to 5. 18.
I gotta find the meme of the guy from The Replacements, the big sumo guy, and eats whole eggs.
Right. So
he
like
pushes them in his mouth.
I'm gonna do that on the next one.
But he does like multiple without chewing.
Oh, that's crazy. But it gets a little dry sometimes, so you gotta work your either saliva or your water in the mix.
I mean, subscribe if you haven't already. But do you think? And I would love to hear the comments here if you can clip this out, Dave. Would you prefer drinking egg whites or eating eggs one bite at a time? I mean,
that's a good one. That's a good tagline, though.
I think you go egg whites. I've steered away from eggs, which I love eggs. I love every form of egg.
They're great. Me
too. Do you like every form?
I do. Every form.
Devil.
I like. Well, that's mayo. It's like mayo, of course.
Yeah, but that's nice.
Yeah, it's good.
And then what about fried? You got fried.
I love fried
poached
eggs.
is one of my
good.
my sleepers.
Yep.
I do it in the microwave.
I love a little scramby.
Scrambies are.
great.
I mean, a well done scrambled egg is life changing.
What's your favorite egg?
What's your favorite egg? I can't. What a rant. Who thought? Did you ever think you'd be
By the
known
way,
for eggs?
I got a good one for you.
Did you ever think you'd be known for eggs?
That's what I'm saying. What? Hold on.
I got a good style of egg. You ready?
What?
A raw egg.
Ooh, I don't.
Well, I've done
raw
that too
well.
back in the day. But
I
Like Rocky?
Yeah.
Delicious. No, well, not like crack and just throw it in.
oh no,
Oh.
You kind of almost like omelet it out. And then
Oh,
you put
yeah,
some other
that's
condiments in
incredible.
there.
No,
That's
no.
incredible.
It's raw because you're not, you're not.
no,
cooking it.
Matty
The nice
Reg
thing
and
about
I.
eggs, it
we
like,
we
it
watched
goes with a
Pumping
lot.
Iron a couple times and we shot
Hell
shot
yeah.
eggs.
I
But-
still watch it.
But okay, so now tell me, am I getting crazy?
I'm trying
Right.
to stretch my hip flexor, by the way.
So
That's why I'm sitting like this.
2 years
A little
ago, we
tight.
do that egg video. Boom! It just goes viral off a freaking egg in the bicep. Right.
Pretty
so that's
amazing.
one thing. My last name is REGG.
I'm gonna start calling
That's
you Regina.
egg, right?
Regina.
My Instagram name is Dave Reg. Dave R and then egg.
Dr. Egg.
I mean,
Oh my
you
God.
know how you get what I'm saying? Like, do you know how Liver King is Liver King? Maybe I can be like the egg guy.
I think you take away AVE and you have D Reg, which will be Dr. Egg.
Dr. Egg. Oh, but am I bugging? Am I really bugging for thinking that I'm getting famous off of an egg?
I think you're.
Is that my claim to
I think
fame?
your Halloween costume should be an egg.
Just be an egg. That's more than a quick 6, though.
Maybe
How many
the
grams of
fries.
protein do you think I would be?
How many-
666?
Maybe a lot of grams. It'd be a big egg.
Dude, I'm literally going to be a fucking egg for Halloween now. Wow.
I have steered away from eggs because my favorite form is a nice fry in the morning, 2 slices of Ezekiel, maybe 100 grams of strawberry syrup, 2 grams of all natural peanut butter.
Maybe.
Shout out Ambrosia. But I've steered away from it because there's, like you're saying, I feel like I'm caddying with 2 bags in the house every morning, and my 2 bags are Juliana and Livy.
But just pop them, bro.
But now I'm doing overnight oats. I'm getting big into the
But
overnight
that's
oats
a
game.
lot. Like
It is a lot.
You know,
If I could scramble it and then drink the overnight oats, that might be the move because it's like, yes, it's overnight oats, but then it becomes a shake.
yeah.
I'm getting my efficiency move is going like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
literally not looking at the
Right.
oven anymore. I don't even look at it.
Do you know I haven't had an oven in 7 months? Isn't that incredible?
What do you mean you haven't had enough?
I mean, my oven's in my house. It just hasn't worked in 7 months.
But
I have
it doesn't
brand
matter.
new appliances.
What do you use?
Nothing. My grill.
You don't cook anything. Oh,
No,
you
like-
all grill.
Grill or
It's pretty
stove.
impressive.
My stove top works, right? So the burners work. The
Ninja?
oven, my oven doesn't work. And shout out Home Depot. Thank you for the 18-month warranty. But on month 19, what happened? Thank you. Appreciate
While
it.
we're shouting out big corporations, Bed Bath & Beyond, great sale. Dana was like, well, maybe we should upgrade and get a dual air fryer. So the Ninja air fryer foodie, whatever, it has 2 compartments.
Wow.
So you can't do that big, all at once, but you can do them different times.
Okay.
And there's a button where you can cook them all at the same time. Life-changing. Really amazing.
Throw
I've done a
Livy in
couple.
one, Juliana.
See ya. I've done some steaks. I've done some T-bones that were on sale.
How big of a steak can you fit in the air fryer? That's
These
my
were
thing.
about pound to
Okay,
pound
that's good.
0.3.
I mean, Ambrosio, love him to death, big dude, great trainer, all that. But the steaks that he had me eating were the petite
Baby
fillets.
steaks,
I mean,
yeah.
come on.
Because no fat.
If my steak is not the size of the plate, I don't want it, Mike. I don't want it.
I met with him last week, and he was laughing the whole time because he's like, I don't understand how you're eating all this pizza and you're still like decent looking. He's like, how unhealthy is that? But he was very supportive.
Yeah.
Yeah, the baby steaks. I remember towards the end of the challenges
Yep.
how little food we were eating.
Yes. Yeah.
And for you, it was way more because you were 230 when you were doing it. I was 195 doing it.
Yeah.
That's wild. I was literally looking at rice and being like, that's dinner tonight. Like, it was like
That's
that.
dinner.
I would have 2 bites. I would get mad when Livy wanted anything because there was none to go around.
You know what used to kill me is when Callie loves pastina. You know what pastina is, right?
I'm not a big fan of
You know what
pastina.
pastina is? It's like little baby pasta,
Yeah.
but just throw a little butter
Throw a
on
little
there.
cheese on there.
Oh.
Little cheese ones.
And I couldn't really eat it because I was watching the carbs then. But woof, still under 10% though.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't think I am.
Should we throw this bet in there?
No, I'm
No,
not.
I'm not doing that.
I'll probably never do a body fat percentage challenge again. I am going Operation Iron Mike. I don't know if Juliana's on board because she's thrown up on my shirts twice. I have a black
I don't
and a
miss
white.
that, but Callie still yaks everywhere. To be honest,
Yeah, there's still. It's not throwing up.
And
It's
now
just
it's
wiping them on you.
big throw up.
Oh yeah,
You
it's
know.
not fun. So Operation Iron Mike, that should be fun.
All right. Anything else on Pod? Oh, CV.
Yes.
We
Kid doesn't check in anymore. He's
Right.
just-
Give us some content.
We saw a big statue of him on a street. There's a skeleton that looks just like CV now.
Yeah. Halloween season is upon us. The kid is going to be 33, bro.
Oh yeah, I forgot your birthday was this month.
Yeah. 10/26. So no
Right.
snooze.
Let the guy
Shout
speak.
us
Come
out.
on.
CV. Give us some content.
No,
my
nothing crazy. I mean, I weighed myself last time and I went down 2 pounds, but I had gained like 8
let's not
on
talk
the
about that.
vacation. So
But
I
so,
guess.
I mean, are we
downward
close
trend.
to 70 now?
No, because on the vacation I gained like 8.
Okay,
So now I'm
That's not
trying to.
bad though.
No, I
How long
guess
were you
not.
away?
2 weeks.
That's pretty good. Pound a day is like what I'm expecting.
pound a day.
No,
So, you
A
know,
pound a day.
I've cut that 8 to now 6 because I'm going backwards. So
Nice.
as long as I get back to
Yeah.
I'm good. But I'm still working out, eating.
Do you have the total poundage lost?
Well, the 60 minus 8 or minus 6.
That's still good. Yeah, that's
So,
still very good.
54.
Now, do you ever foresee yourself going back?
No, I don't think anyone does.
No, but like honestly, like, are you being
No,
truthful?
I
with
mean,
yourself?
no, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think about it. I get scared about
That's
it.
good, though.
Like I don't want to. So
paranoia is good.
But,
Anxiety's good.
I tried to go back. I can't. I tried.
Yeah,
My body's
Oh
reset.
no, I don't need to try. I can't easily. The vacation is proof.
Well, can you tell all the listeners what we've been chatting about, a potential challenge, which we won't allow you to do it, but I love the concept.
That'll
of it.
easily get you back
CV
up, bro.
thinks.
Well, everybody heard it last time. I mean,
Oh, did we
I
say it last
believe.
time?
Did we say it?
Yeah, we were talking about it.
Oh, yeah,
and
maybe.
I believe. I'm telling you, I believe. And if
he said that like a preacher.
I
I
believe I could eat this pizza.
easily, I can eat 1 pie per day for a month.
That's a lot,
Easily.
bro. What's 30,
I'm not saying it's not a lot,
what's
but
30 times 8, Mike?
But you're not doing this. It's not like you're
160
pounding
slices.
a whole
Oh.
pizza in one shot. I
Wait,
can
no, 240.
2
240,
slices in the
yes.
morning, 3 slices at lunch, 2 slices. It's 8 slices in a day.
Yeah,
I can
for
easily
30
go to a
days,
pizzeria
bro.
and do that in one shot.
Depends. Some pizza's very light.
Yeah, I'm not talking about fully loaded or
Look at
thick
Mike drinking a
crust
Heineken
or,
on there. Look.
I ripped the label off. No sponsor. Like, subscribe.
Oh man, no. The reason why I asked you that, CV, in terms of going back, is because when I listen to a lot of the people that I listen to that are very successful, always a fear of theirs is like going back and reverting to the broke version of themselves. You know what
I mean, it's definitely a fear.
but it keeps them
It's not going to
motivated.
happen.
Yeah.
Right, correct.
Here's
I
my
think about
theory.
it.
Here's my theory, CV. Tell me if I'm up. I'm on this one. You've learned all these skills and all of these tactics
Yep.
to get to the body where you are today. So even worst case scenario, we went back. We're a different person at that weight,
Yes.
and we can instantly head on back
100%.
to the bright side.
Yes.
If I'm being 100% honest, it's nothing that I haven't learned before. I think this time around there's a fear factor that I
Of
think
Dave? Fear of Dave?
I don't want to see any more eggs in my house.
I have that. I have that fear.
Whereas before, I don't think before, if you lost a little bit of weight, oh, you're good, you get cocky, oh, you forget
Right.
about it and you keep going. There's the fear that I have now that I didn't have before. And it's keeping me grounded in the sense that it's something that I'm consistently thinking about. And,
Yep.
and I think that's, I guess maybe a better word than fear is a much more respect.
Aware.
Yes.
I have a good hack for everyone. When I was doing my challenge, I don't know if you do this ever, CV. One of my tricks was I would just be shirtless all the time, and there's a bunch of mirrors in the living room, and if I didn't like what I saw, it would give me that little extra, you know?
it wouldn't work for me.
Really?
I
Because you
really-
look good.
No. So no joke. This is not me being any
Here we
type
go.
of
I'm
way.
excited for this.
I think I have body dysmorphia.
You
you
probably
do?
do. Yeah.
100%. Right? Like I literally people.
Does that mean
people
when
are
you're
like
really
okay.
big but you're weak?
No.
You see yourself.
I
a
look
different-
at-
know exactly.
You
what
see
it is.
yourself a different way than
I
what you
know.
really are.
I really look in the mirror
And see your old self.
and I see like I think that I'm like this skinny little guy.
See, I have the reverse.
I have the reverse too.
Yeah.
You do?
I look at myself. I'm like, oh,
What-
I
Yeah.
see the
I see Mike
20-year-old.
Tyson. I'm going to show you the guy I see. Keep chatting.
I swear to God, like I'm not joking. It won't be until like I walk through like my bathroom door and my shoulders like hit the two door frames.
Here we go.
You know what I'm saying? To where I realize that
I wonder if that's like the trauma you
Well,
upstairs
I'm
that
not
you went through
joking.
that you
I'm not
remember
joking.
that so harshly that
and literally when I like bench press and stuff, that's when I'm like, all right, you're a strong dude. Like you're not that ramen noodly, but I literally when I literally look in the mirror, sometimes I'm like, ew.
Really? I look in the
Yes.
mirror. I look in the mirror and I see this guy. I'm like, who is that?
Who is that? Who is that?
I send pictures to Ambrosio. I wrote,
Put it right in. Oh,
that's
my God.
Nathan French.
That is so funny.
He's a hybrid
Yeah.
athlete. He runs marathons and lifts like
Yeah, it looks.
405
He actually
pounds.
looks like you. Yeah, there
He
you
does,
go.
right? We're like
Hold on.
twins.
Put it to
Go ahead. There you go.
If anything,
This
he
one.
might have less stridation.
Look right there. There's Mike.
There
That
I
is
am.
so good. Listen, if you're not on YouTube right now, you're just missing good content.
Shout out Nathan French.
Wow.
That's
look
my body.
at, that's what you see.
So I tell Dana all the time, I'm like, I'm going to look like this guy. And
That-
she just shakes her head. And I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm going to get there.
Yeah. Oh man,
He's big too. That's a big boy.
I literally see the opposite. I don't know. I hope I can.
All right, we'll work on that,
Yeah.
Dave.
I mean, just
you got to look in the mirror and just talk to yourself.
I mean, listen. I talk to myself, and I think I'm a very handsome guy. I mean, the wisdom in the beard and all that. I think I really got going for myself.
I'm trying to find my other body type.
Yeah. Show me. What are you thinking?
I'm going to show you.
And he's on this new Mike Tyson wave. If you guys don't know, he wears a picture of Mike Tyson on his shirt.
I kind of am cold on it now because the show came out on Hulu. So now everyone's going to be doing Mike Tyson stuff.
Hulu.
Hulu.
What is that?
So
Hulu?
it's an app.
Is that a show?
No, it's Netflix. It's like
Hulu. Oh, I know Hulu.
Hulu.
I know Hulu.
You were really
you
didn't
know what I
was
think about? Okay, so women will get this analogy a lot. So Lululemon is a store,
Louis Lemon.
right?
It's a brand.
It's a brand, but yes, correct. That sells athleisure, right? Athleisure wear. So you have Lululemon, and then you have this brand on Amazon that kind of stole.
That's my other body.
Wow, that's Mike's other body.
Yeah, that's
But-
like before the cut. This
Right
is
there,
the
look.
bulk season. This is probably.
Wow, we're terrible. We
You're
can't
gonna
keep
see
a-
me. This might be my
There you
Halloween
go.
outfit.
You should.
You're gonna see.
Bro, Iron
With a
Mike-
gold
You
tooth.
should.
That'd be a
Iron
good
Mike
outfit.
is-
You should.
I'll get the flat top like him. I already have it. But this will be like February bulk season.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead. Sorry.
So yes, Lululemon, right? Super expensive. I mean, you're talking like the leggings are $110 to $130.
Sheesh.
So then you have Amazon's version of it, right?
Love it.
So there's like a little H on them, and whenever I see them, I go up to the person and I say, "Those are Hululemon."
Ah,
so
it's pretty good.
so when
Shameless plug.
so that's right. Amazon, shout out the Hulu's,
No,
baby.
ours.
Wait, what?
We
What's
have-
shameless plug? What does that mean?
No snooze.
Yeah.
What? What
Don't
do
we
we
have leggings?
Oh, we do have leggings. Yeah, yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go.
They're fire though. They are fire.
I gotta re-up.
Shameless plug. This is where you put it in.
Yeah. It's
Do we have
in-
any of those free samples anymore? I'm going broke.
I'm going broke. No, good stuff. You got anything else on that?
No, I got a cool cut.
Hashtag
recently.
Mike Tyson.
I walked into the back of a cutting board on the top of my fridge.
Yeah,
While I was
gonna
moving the fridge
You
to chase
definitely
the
have the
mouse.
same thing. So Callie always bangs her face on everything, and
me.
it looks like one of those things that Mike has on his head.
So the No Snooze hat, love it. But Dana's rear door on her Ford is at the perfect height where if I have the hat, I don't see it, and I walk right into it every time.
Wow. Yeah. You got some issues there.
I do.
Can't really help you with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hulu. All right, let's get into the topic of the day.
We need to figure out a challenge though, at some point. Not for me. I'm done with challenges for the rest of the year at least. But one of you guys are going to do something wild.
Oh.
Maybe CV. I think CV is the
C-
guy.
CV's
Cut
up.
that out for the organ
Maybe
commercial. Let's go.
He'll eat a full chicken a day.
Let's go.
We wanted to take a quick second to let you guys know that we partnered with our good friends over at Orgain.com. We're happy to offer our listeners 30% off by entering the code NoSnooze30. Again, that's NoSnooze30 for 30% off your first order. If you're on the market for a new protein powder, nutritional shake, protein bar, or Mike's favorite, collagen peptides, Orgain is your one-stop shop. As all of you know, my Crohn's disease is currently in remission, and the only protein I use is from Orgain. My personal favorites are the chocolate peanut butter and the vanilla bean. With the code, you can try a 2-pound tub for under $20. Talk about not snoozing. Go get yours today. Now, back to the epi.
All right, let's get it. So today we want to talk to you guys about how to think bigger. Well, I want to talk to Mike, actually. You guys are just listening on the other side, right? But how to think bigger than, I guess, what we're typically taught. When I was thinking about this topic, Mike, I swear I believe that society has, Mike is snapping his head back and forth, but I believe we've been I don't want to say
Program.
kind of pre-programmed to live like mediocre to average lives, right? Like if you think about it, you go to school, high school, perfect scenario, you go to college, maybe the perfect scenario, you get a job right out of college, and then you work that job until probably 55 to 65-ish, right? Then you retire for a couple of years, you get fat and old, and then you die. Right? That's pretty much
Maybe
pretty
there's a couple of vacations.
a couple
in there,
of vacations there, but by like 85, 90, most people are probably hanging it up, right?
I would think. Yeah.
Right? That's what I'm saying. So thinking,
Life, huh?
right? Your life. So what a good life that
Wild.
is. I just believe that that's so far from the reality of today's world, right? And as I was thinking about it, I think there's one major mistake when people are like us, right? We're trying to achieve our version of success, our version of what a fulfilling lifestyle looks like, right? And I think for both of us, it's more about having the ability to to leverage things and still, make income and have flexibility within our time, right? Freeing up time to us is extremely important.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people get lost in what's called a hustle and grind for too long versus learning how to really scale and structure, because you can hustle and grind your entire life, right? I have family members that work 3 and 4 jobs, but they've done this for 20 years of their life. Mm-hmm. And instead of learning how to double down on the skills, shout out Bedros Keuilian. You know who that is?
What a name. No,
yeah.
I do not.
Bedros is a guy. He does a Fit Body Boot Camp. I might have botched his last name, but he has what's called a 5% rule. And he said most people don't do this. Most people don't know how to double down on their skills and attributes that they excel at, right? Think about an airplane. Mm-hmm. Great analogy here. An airplane is hustle and grind mode right from the start, right? That's 747. You're a passenger. As soon as it takes off, you're literally, boom, you're thrown back. Your head is snapping back. It's hustle and grind with one goal to get up into the air, right? Then at about 10,000 feet, pilot comes on. He said, all right, we've reached 10,000 feet. It's safe to move about the cabin. You learn how to now become more efficient in the air. Their focus now is about the safety. Their focus is traffic control. Their focus is making sure that everybody gets to the destination on time and properly, right? And it's kind of the same thing in life. We hustle and grind balls to the wall for too long without ever learning how to scale and structure. Does that make sense?
Pretty good. That's pretty good. They get to like the cruising altitude.
Right.
And then you can move about the cabin.
Right.
Fix things.
Exactly. And then you're moving about the cabin in your own life.
Maybe have a snack.
You're moving about the cabin. Maybe you go to the top, you take your iPad out, you go to the bathroom, you're shooting the shit with your boy. That's what we have to learn how to get to in life. But it does take time, especially for us. I mean, we're in our 30s now. I think this is the time that we really start to I feel like we've kind of figured out our lanes that we want to be in, and now it's about us scaling and structuring, right? That hustle and grind that we did for years and years. Of course, there's periods and seasons of your life that you'll always hustle and grind, but for the most part, now the focus needs to be learning how to scale and structure, right?
Yeah. I think you nailed it on the. So I think if you want a lot of structure in your life and you're fine with all that stuff, it's nothing wrong with that. If you want to just have the typical human experience, I don't think there's anything wrong. Right. For me, it just wasn't what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. I just don't like being told what I need to do. Yep. I like to follow my passions. I have this unrelenting urge to do things and create things and do it my way. And then at the end of the day, I could burn and crash or be successful, but I did it. I like doing team sports growing up. I never got that feeling of oh, I did it.
Yep.
I always had the feeling of I wasn't the guy,
Yes.
Win or lose,
yep.
If we lost, I couldn't really do anything. If we won, I'm I really didn't do anything.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe
absolutely.
hit a couple shots. But anyway, so for me, to what you're talking about of getting up into the air, what I'm focusing on a lot lately is not listening to people at my level or below my level or just above it, trying to listen to people so far past me that it completely changes the way I think. Grant Cardone's a big advocate for this. He's 10X is his brand. His big thing is it's the same energy to go and buy a house as it is to buy a apartment complex. It's just you don't know how to do it. So why not take a big swing?
Right.
So that's something I've actually been conscious of, and I think you could still learn from colleagues and whatnot, but I'm spending most of my time listening to billionaires, real estate moguls, people who own $300 million worth of real estate, because I think they leave clues on all right, well, for example, this one guy, I'm very into it. His whole thing is he jumped right into thinking big right off the bat. He didn't even buy a single family home. He jumped right into commercial. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do these things because you need to stack skills, but you also hold yourself back. What you say all the time, you're your only limit. My preconceived notions of, all right, well, this is the trajectory that has been programmed into me. You buy a single family home, you buy a multifamily, you buy a fourplex, you buy an... Who says I can't go buy an apartment building, right? So why am I taking that off the table and not open to that when people ask, right? Would you owe it? I mean, in theory, I could figure it out. It's that little shift of like you're not keeping yourself in a box. There's an analogy, because we're throwing out analogies here. If you have a cricket can jump like 6 feet or something. But if you put it in a box, it only can jump I think you've said this maybe. It only jumps the height of the box.
Yes.
Then when they take off the top, it still only jumps the height of the box.
Correct.
So I feel like in the past I fell prey to jumping in the box, and now I'm trying to blow the box out of the water and just kind of really shake things up.
Yep.
And my thought is, if I'm going to bat and it's do or die, I want to go down swinging. I don't want to go down looking at the pitch. Like, I'm going to swing for a home run, and maybe I'll hit a single, maybe I'll hit a double, but I'm going to aim for a home run and see what happens.
I love it. I am a blend, I think, of Mike and then the version of individuals that want comfort. You know what I mean? Because my job, I work civil service, so I'm public in that regard. So, yes, I don't punch a clock, but the majority of the people in our, department in our field are punching the clock and leaving, and, there's pension, all that involved. But I've used that as my comfort level, but to also make sure that I take risks along the way, because I have that all the time, and I'm very genuinely interested in it. But I feel like one of the big tips in terms of learning how to scale and structure is to find the things that you can outsource. Right? There's very little things. Like for me, I remember being an average $50,000 employee, something like that. Till then, when you make, your first 6-figure salary, certain things have to change, right? And I'm sure when you go from that 6-figure to the 7-figure, there's other things that change. But for example, I remember I would sit every single week for years, cut my own hair, right? When in reality, I can pay somebody $20 to $40 an hour to do this same thing. But what I did specifically, instead of taking that time to cut my hair, then I got to get in the shower, then I got to clean up, it's a 2-hour ordeal, right? So what I did, I remember sitting in my barber chair, putting on a positive podcast, right? On a skill that I wanted to like level up in. I specifically remember doing it with public speaking, because I always talk about my fear of public speaking, but I was taking that same amount of time that I would, taking a little bit of money to pay somebody else to do it, but I don't have to do the actual work. So it freed up my mind and it allowed me to work on a skill set. Same thing with the lawn care, right? Some people really love, if you really enjoy these little things, by all means, do it. That's not what I'm talking about though, right? But like for me to sit back and mow my lawn for, an hour to 2 hours when I could pay somebody $40 a week, it just didn't make sense. Yes, there's a time and a place in your life that you have to, squeeze yourself for money, right? Saving every dollar possible. That's a different time frame. But for me, even the regular employee going from 50,000, 80,000 to the 6-figure mark, there's many things in your life that you can pay somebody $20 to $40 an hour for that it's not worth your time anymore.
So to that point, if you do that and you're a 1099 like myself, then you have to replace that. So you can't just do that and not work. Right? Yes, you can have family time and whatnot, but if you're putting out $200 a month, you have to say, all right, well, if I'm doing $200 a month, I got to sell one more condo a month. And it covers it. In theory, you just need to keep upping. There's a limit to how much you can save, but there's no limit to how much you can earn.
Right.
So as long as you're being focused and saying, all right, well, if I'm doing this, then I got to do this to support that, then it makes a little more sense. I've been guilty of doing it too early. There's arguments that you should do it early. For example, if you're thinking big, a driver is like a big thing that I think about, because there's so much time in the car that is unsafe for me, where I'm texting, I'm on the phone, I'm not fully focused on driving.
That's big though.
It's big, right?
Time.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you think about it, you're like, all right, what does that look like? Can I get a Tesla that auto drives?
Right. Well,
right?
That's
maybe.
Yeah.
If I got someone that was my driver, could they also do another job? So it's not like I'm just paying them to sit there and drive, which is wild.
Listen, if anybody wants to intern and the role can be driving Michael Pirelli around, let us know. Well, Hashtag No Snooze.
But exactly, right? So, yes. So initially what you said right off the bat is like a driver. You're like, that's wild. That's big time.
Well, no, not that it's big time, right? But if for somebody who's, maybe doesn't have because immediately people think about the money, right?
Yeah.
We have something to leverage against.
But so everyone does, right? So like if I'm even thinking about that, it means I'm busy enough where I need more time.
Yes.
And if you need more time, you need more people. And if you need more people, then there's a value you can give to someone.
Right.
Yes, maybe they're not like the NASCAR driver that's driving around. Maybe it's a younger person who just got their license that's wanted to learn about real estate.
Justin Anthony Sanchez.
Whoever, right? So there's like that's what I'm trying to do is like not think that anything I think is stupid and too big time to do.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, people are probably scoff at me even saying that. Be like, you're not busy enough. And I'm not. I'm not busy enough to support a driver, but I'm busy enough to try to earn back more time in areas where I'm not wasting it,
correct,
but I could be more efficient.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it's not safe. I think about it all the time. Like when you're driving and you're like, I really got to answer this email, but I got to get to this next appointment. Just to win back a little bit of that would be a big up in the stakes. Do you have any other like hacks on how to sorry.
No, go ahead. I see CV getting ready to talk. What? No?
Oh.
You sure? You can jump in, bro. You're the voice.
Yeah.
The voice
it's your
say,
podcast, man.
Young voice.
You could always go public transportation.
I got a driver. I got on the bus. That's pretty good.
You could do
that.
Uber.
Is very good.
Uber,
listen,
not
my driver picks me up at 11 o'clock right there in the corner.
Right, he's gonna come in a big SUV.
Yeah,
big,
a lot of other people.
Big
there.
SUV.
There's coworkers.
Oh, you want to ride? I got you. Come with me.
I got you.
But that is true. Like you could take the train if you have a meeting in the city rather than drive. Take the train.
That's really good marketing, though. If you can tell people that you have a driver and then you take public transportation, that's genius.
Yeah, it's really good.
That's
like 90% of it.
Literally, right? How to present something like that. Like, did you drive here? No, I had a driver.
The other thing I like to do too is like I try to humanize the people that I'm aspiring to be. So like whether it's so there's two levels, right? You can go for the mentor online, which I really like.
Yep.
And then you just learn everything about them. You listen to every podcast they've been on. You learn about their story. You realize they're not that different. At some point they were broke. Usually.
Yes.
Right?
Correct. Yep.
So like Grant, I think, made all of his money between 50 and 65 or something.
Wow.
I don't know how old he is.
Or 40 or something. Like that.
Whatever. He made his money late in life.
Yes, correct. Most people do.
Warren Buffett.
Yep.
I mean, everyone says if he died early, no one would talk about him because he didn't had that trajectory yet until he was older in life, which is fine. No, no shade on Warren. Yep. So that is one level, right? You humanize them. Also, I talk through things of like, I see an agent in town, and it's not that I don't think they're talented. I just look how they operate, and I'm like, all right, well, if that person's making what I know they're making, what's to say I shouldn't make it? Because in theory, I think I could be as good, but I also have the advantage of my social media. I also have the advantage of my video. Like, I start to think through everything, and then I think on a macro level about my opportunities.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, well, if I think I could be like that person, and I'm in one of the best markets in the world, and I think I'm one of the better people in the market, then why can't I make, what I want to make, have a lifestyle that I want? What's to say I can't do it?
Right.
Right. And then you look at like your stats and you're like, all right, well, this is what I did last year. Like, why can't I sell 50? And then if there's an answer there, like 50 houses, whatever, if there's an answer, then you got to go address it. Right. And if the answer is like, well, you can't get to all the showings. Well, how do I get to all the showings? I need to get condos. Why condos? Because you can have 4 condos in one complex, and then the efficiency level goes up.
Yeah.
Right. So then those questions of thinking big then trickle down to new strategies to try to go get them.
Right.
Versus if you never ask that question and you say, all right, well, next year I want to double what I'm making. I don't necessarily need to refocus my strategy to go make double. Right. Right.
Correct.
To make 4 times, 10 times, like Grant says, then you need to rework everything.
Yes.
Which sometimes isn't great, but
yeah. No.
You like that?
I do. I love that. I try to think back on specific examples, but for me in government is extremely archaic. I mean, CV will tell you when we first started where we're at, right? We have a business office that operates our payroll. So when I stepped into the role that I'm in now, I said, okay, listen, we need to find a system. Shout out Kronos Timekeeping. Big plug.
Great name.
But
Kronos.
it's extremely expensive, right? So I was a huge proponent for the town for this. I actually tied the town with Kronos, believe it or not. And now every department in the town utilizes it, right? So it's a timekeeping system. When CV and I first got there, we had one person taking care of basically 50 employees. right? And their time cards. So then if we had 200,
Manually?
yes,
Jesus.
or inputting it into the computer, right? So then if we had 200, during a season, we had to have 4 people in the office. Then the town comes with budget constraints, right? Budget cuts, fancy word.
Constraints, nice. Good marketing.
But budget confinement, right? You like that. To where we needed to find a way to save money. So I said, well, listen, in the long term, we'll save a lot of money. But what we need to do now is allocate money to pay for this system, which was a 6-figure investment on behalf of the town. So it was a big investment. But long term, I could have one person in that office taking care of 1,000 employees.
Yeah.
Because you input a schedule one time for people, and now it just automates it, right? And now, of course, you have to go in and check, but your time versus what you've spent on that initial investment, it's always going to be worth it in the end. Yeah. Same thing in my investment property, right? Got to a point at the very beginning where like money was a little low. And, my dad would, or somebody would have to fix everything, save money. Then you get to a point, it's like, all right, listen, I can't deal with these phone calls anymore. Like my dad doesn't want these phone calls. Let me find a tenant that excels in those skills. So yes, I gave a discount to a tenant that took care of the lawn, took care of the snow removal, took care of, the light maintenance work, the plumbing, the electrical, that type of stuff. Because at that point, it was like my time versus money, learning how to really scale that, which freed up a lot of extra stress. And now when you're a parent, stress, you need to be saving on your stress.
Yes.
You asked me a hack, right?
Let me, with
go
the
ahead.
real estate
Go ahead.
properties,
Yes.
Don't forget that point, because this is a quick one. That's what I think about constantly. Like even with the mouse, I'm like, if I am
put a mouse trapper in one of my units.
Well, I was mad at myself. Because I was like, I know what I should have done. I should have just called Orkin, called it a day. But I wasted all this time going to Home Depot being an asshole because I had a personal vendetta against this thing. When in reality, like when something pops up at my tenant's place, I just call the plumber. I don't even think about fixing it.
Right.
A, because I'm not handy, and B, because I don't have the bandwidth anymore. And I think to myself, what would a billionaire do? I'm not saying I'm going to be a billionaire, but I think what would a billionaire do? They would never go be I'm not saying I'm above these jobs. I'm just saying they wouldn't think twice because their decision, not making a decision or delaying a decision, costs them more money than paying out of pocket to get the thing done.
Correct. 100%.
What would a billionaire do?
What
would Dave do? Actually, just think that, because he's the king of delegation.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, delegation
Another
is
hack,
it is definitely a skill in terms of delegating. But yes, no. So a hack, right? And this is something obviously we talk about all the time. But if you're trying to think bigger in your life, right, you can't think less of yourself. Like you can't have all these negative thoughts. Well, you can have them. Because everybody has them, right? I have them. You have them.
No doubt.
Right. But you can't question your ability to do things. So how do you do that? You have to build up your confidence to even learn how to think bigger.
Yeah.
Right. And how do you do that? Okay. Well, confidence to me is really just being able to say that you're going to do something and then you come through on that. And then in return, it's like a circle that comes right back to you in a boost of confidence because you said you were going to do something. You did that task and now boom, you just gained some confidence. So you have to do that in your life consistently to make sure that you're always above average in terms of your thinking, right? Yeah. You cannot be doing big things in life. And not that we're sitting here saying we're doing these massive things, but we're at a decent point in our lives to where, at this age, did I think I would be here? I actually thought I would be further along the way. That's just how we think. But the trajectory of where we're going, I'm very happy with that, right?
Yeah.
So I say that to just make sure that, nobody's thinking like, oh yeah, we're saying that we're fucking billionaires out here. That's far from the case.
Oh, I'm worth a billion.
Yeah. But I also think people, and I see this at work a lot, and it's with the younger generation nowadays too. And I work hard to try to combat this issue, but they're a product of their environment. So if you're take a couple kids from the inner city, take a couple kids from, a project environment, and that's a housing project or something like that, right? There are kids that I've had conversation with that their goal, literally no joke, is to make sure that they meet somebody that they don't marry. So they have dual income, that they can take over the apartment in the project complex, right? And live there with 4 or 5 of their kids, never even have a thought process of, oh, let me go out, let me go buy my own place. And I know CV can relate to this because he does a lot of youth development work in the community. And it's like you have to change your environment because the thinking of what you're accustomed to is based off of your life experiences, right? And I the way I grew up, it was never bad. But like, you know, my brother and I shared a room our entire lives. At one point, we were in an apartment with, you know, 2 bedrooms with 3 kids. And I never was like, oh yeah, I want to. That's the cycle that I want. And my dad was always saying, no, we're getting out of this. We're getting out of this. We're getting out of this. So I thank God for my environment in that way. But when people are so accustomed to just seeing certain things, they just strive for a level that's mediocre.
The other side of that too is I think I fell to the pie in the sky stuff. Like, create your own company that's world changing. Where as I got older, I'm like, I'm not trying to make any world changing products. I really enjoy marketing. I like selling real estate. You know, I'm going to not reinvent the wheel. I'm going to be innovative within the industry, but I'm just going to focus on stuff that works. I'm not trying to change everyone's mindset and change the world. I'm just trying to do a skill very well and get paid for it.
Right.
You know, which I think a lot of people get lost in, like, I'm going to make the next Facebook. And when in reality, if you like math, the chances are so little.
Yeah.
Like getting to the pros, that's great. I mean, go for it. I'm not saying don't go for it. But when it doesn't work out, which 99.9% it doesn't, then you got to be more, and I don't like the word realistic, but you got to be more strategic on what you go for. Because I was going for patents. I was going for making a bus company that hasn't been done. Like, we weren't changing the world, but we were definitely going out on a limb and doing some stuff that was a grind versus, you have a house to sell? It's very different. Like, my whole life has been a lot more attainable, and I see the path versus, like, with a patent, there's a path, but there's not a million ways to get to the path.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So there's that, like, either you don't have any type of aspirations, or your aspirations are big, but not rooted in a strategy to get there.
Right.
I'm not saying don't dream. I'm saying I want to aim at things that the likelihood, like a sales job, the likelihood you're going to be successful if you do well is pretty high.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, for me, I feel like I'm in a place now that, and it does sound arrogant. Even when I'm thinking about it, it sounds fucked up. But I don't think there's any place that in my lane that I can't be.
Okay.
Like,
what do you mean?
Even in public service, right? Like, I'm already in the governor's office with, you know, liaisons from Hochul's office. Like, I'm one person away from the president of the United States.
It's pretty weird.
No, but you get what I'm saying?
It's kind of
like,
scary.
Right, when you think about it, though. But I've tried to think, and I guess it's because of the practice of, like, really, really walking through this, that if I go all into I mean, the reality is I don't want to go to Albany. Like, right now, that's not appealing to me, right? And you do get a driver, and they'll pick you up, and they'll drive you.
Now we're talking.
I'm serious, and they'll drive you, and they'll drop you
me?
off in Albany. I swear to God, you think I'm joking?
That's awesome.
Literally, and you go back and forth, and you'll commute. But that's not really interesting to me at this point in my life.
That's good.
But I've leaned on, and this sounds a little crazy, but I feel like my relationship with the higher power has really helped my bigger thinking as well. Because when you pair having faith with doing the right thing and taking the right actions, I think that combo is deadly. Because having faith is putting something positive out there that you can't just be faithful and, like, hope and wish for the stars, right? Like, that I don't think works. Yes, miracles do happen, of course, but for my higher power to work best, this is only me personally. Yes, I have to pray in abundance on a certain thing, but I also have to put strategic work and have an intention behind really thinking bigger. Yeah. You know, and for me, it's like become a norm, because I do talk to myself kind of crazy. Like, I do look in the mirror at times, and, like, I expect everything that's going to come my way. I really do. And I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm not saying that to be arrogant. I'm not saying that to be cocky. I've developed the thinking to just, I'm confident in myself. Yeah, you know what I mean? And not that shit's going to happen, because shit is going to happen. Shit's going to go south, and things aren't going to work out, and there's going to be a whole bunch of adversity that comes along the way. But if I really put my head to it, I think I can accomplish the goals that I want to accomplish.
100%. And then the question is, like, what are the goals? And then it's like you're only there's no rules, so you can do whatever goals you want. You can go as big as you want, as small as you want. It doesn't matter. That's the thing I'm rooted in. It all doesn't matter. Like, nothing. But hear me out. Got the family enjoy the kids. Like, that's awesome. Like, I feel very fortunate. I feel like I'm playing with borrowed time all the time, right? Like, our parents, our grandparents getting to the country, they did the hard part. Like,
correct.
We're literally, they got us to the game, and now we're just enjoying playing it.
We're driving our car, sitting in traffic, and we're complaining. Whereas they were on a boat, fucking paddling over here, like, I
don't know what kind of health is going to be in the future for me and my family. Like, you do the thing, like we did that fundraiser this weekend, and it's raising money for pediatric cancer research.
Yeah, it was incredible.
And no matter how bad everything is, it's like, it's really not. Right. And I've been trying to remind myself that, because it does get hard. Lack of sleep plays with your emotions, all that stuff. Deals are tough. The market's kind of shifting a little bit. There's a lot going on. But at the end of the day, I'm like, A, no one cares. And B, I have to enjoy myself, because if I enjoy myself, I'm a better person for my family, for my friends, for everyone. So who cares? Like, I'd much rather swing and miss than never swing, because then at least I'd be like, listen, I tried. It's pretty funny. Like, I messed up pretty good.
We've swung a couple times.
Yeah, you just keep swinging, and then it's like, but then the real question is, like, how do you get excited? How do you stay excited? And I just constantly, like, when I talk to people, I am very selective who I tell my big aspirations to, because, like you're saying, you're a product of your environment and your feedback, I feel. And sometimes if you get the wrong person on the other side, they actually will. I'm not saying they're going to overpower you, but it'll leak in. It'll be enough where it's like, oh, yeah, maybe they are right. Maybe I'm not ready. Or, if you find the right person, they're like, that's awesome. Like, what's the game plan? And they ask you the question that makes you go back to the drawing board and go towards it, versus the question that makes you nervous and you're like, I'm not going to take the action I should have today. You know what I mean? So now I'm very selective who I BS with and tell these big things. Yes, I'm very public, and I make announcements publicly of, like, game plans. Like, I want to buy a building in the next year, which it's going to be an undertaking. It's going to be tough, but I'm not talking to people about that and excited. Certain people, because I'm like, they don't care. And if they don't care, they're not going to give me the response I want. So it's all very counterproductive.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I love that point. CV, switch to camera view. Look at that. Dave
Stuck
V.
on me.
Dave V.
Do we have a filter on this? Because I feel like I look much better.
No, what Mike is saying, though, is an incredible point, because we don't realize the amount of individuals in our life that are actually extremely close to us. And it's not that they don't want the best for us, but people that are really close to you, they find ways to doubt you. You know,
it's not even doubt. It's like, even with Dana, she is unbelievably supportive.
They're safe.
She's so unbelievably supportive, but the things I'm saying are very outlandish. Like,
but is it though?
Yeah.
So you buying a building in the next year, to me, right?
But I say some crazy shit.
Oh,
like,
okay.
when I talk to her, I'm like, we're going to be on a private jet at some point. Like, we're going to be on a villa in Italy, and I'm going to look to you and I'm just going to nod and be like, I told you.
With a cigar or no?
I don't know what the timeline is.
You have a cigar in your mouth?
I'll probably be eating
glasses on
wine.
or no?
I'll probably be drinking wine. I will have glasses.
Yeah.
Nice astute ones.
Right.
But, like, who knows? Maybe it won't happen. But if it does, then I'm going to be like, I
told
you. You know? So, like, it's not that I expect people to get on the same wavelength, but if you say it too much and expect someone to be like, yeah, absolutely, it's not coming, because why would they? Like,
right.
If think about Steve Young. I talk to my dad all the time about him. I'm like, did you ever think that he was going to be like one of the best? And
quarterback?
Like,
Steve Young, right?
He goes, in a million years, no effing way. So, like, that's not to say he didn't believe in him but to say that is so out there.
Yes.
That he rationally, as a smart person, would be like, based on your skill set, no way in hell.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, but I think as individuals, we just have to, my point to back what you were saying is you have to be conscious of what you're letting into your own.
Yeah, control input.
Your own thought process, right? And what Mike is saying is spot on. A lot of people will creep in. That's a good way. Like, their thought process will creep in. And I've always loved this about my dad, because he's the complete opposite. Yeah. My dad could literally fail, because, he open a business and the business close, like fail the business, not fall, right?
He's coming around.
No, I'm serious, because we've spoke about this a million times. Yeah. But, like, he could actually fail in life a million times, and still he will find a way to come back and do the next thing, right? And that is how you have to think, but that comes with a serious level of confidence and a circle behind you that wants the best for you. When you're telling me that you're going to buy a building, one, I'm like, cool, I am too, but also I already know the property that you have. So if you really wanted to make that move tomorrow, you can do it. Right, you already have what you need. Yes, it'll be a hassle, and yeah, you might have to move out of your house to buy, something else and use that money and leverage and this and that, or accounts, investment accounts that I have, retirement accounts. All the money is there right now if we really want to do that. So it's not even that big of a thought process. Is how I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's attainable, but the environment you're in, sometimes it sounds crazy.
Correct.
And our age, and and I am in an industry where people are there's not many, they're entrepreneurial people. There's not a lot of people that want to do their own thing. There's a lot of people that get in the system, they work the system.
Well, that's kind of me.
Which is the argument, right? Like, I would argue if I was a little more focused, I would probably be farther along as a salesperson, but not as far along as a business owner or investor.
Gotcha. Yep.
So, like, I think they're complements, and no way's wrong, but the style that which I'm going for is very different than traditional. I'm not reworking the system or the wheel. I'm just kind of carving out how I want to work it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Hell
which
yeah.
isn't traditional, which there's nothing wrong with being traditional. But for me, what I am envisioning doesn't fit in that box, and that's okay.
Yeah. CV, I got a question for you, my brother. So CV's a couple years older than us. I'm curious as to what's your input as you're hearing this live while we're speaking about it? Are we crazy out of our minds with our thought process? Like, what is it normal? Is it, what are you thinking? And you just be 100% honest. I love it.
No, it's definitely crazy.
I like
But
it.
crazy is good, because crazy is what makes you not be normal and be think outside of the box. It's the non-crazy people, I think, that get stuck in that routine and that coasting. So sometimes that dose of crazy is and we can call it crazy, or we can call it other better terms.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what's going to get you doing different things and elevating. Obviously, there's good crazy and bad crazy. The good crazy is the one that you put everything in the right place and your thoughts and actions are towards a bigger goal, and that's why I kind of said it's crazy, but it's not. It's just a different way of thinking. So I don't think it's bad. I think it's a good thing. I think ambition is purpose, and when you have purpose in your life, it definitely makes you strive for bigger things, for better things. Because when you don't have purpose, that's when that, you
just go through the motions.
Well said.
You
Jesus.
coast. That was
That was
fired.
good.
The voice is in the building.
CV used a great word. I think crazy is the right word, because most people are crazy till it happens.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
People they're out of their mind, and then it happens. They're
Yep.
like, wow, they're an innovator.
Did you see Hormozy, your guy? So he put out a clip and he was like, people thought we were crazy, and believe it or not, people think we're an overnight success. And we had a podcast, and it wasn't until our 400th episode.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh boy, that's a long time.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
You're like, what number are we on?
Episode 118. No,
skipping up.
yeah.
This is the 400th episode.
I'm like, oh my god! But he's literally like, yo, nobody even listened until we had 400 episodes, and then boom, you take that's crazy.
And
well, I don't think there's an overnight success thing.
There's never, ever.
There's so much work
some
that does.
viral
Oh
stuff.
yeah. That's
but they
so-
don't sustain.
But dude,
think
I got
about this,
famous
though.
off an egg.
Even think about the viral stuff. There's always so much work and effort that goes so much longer prior to that happening.
Yeah.
I mean, can a one-off thing happen just by coincidence, just by chance? Maybe. But even the egg thing, as silly as that is, that wasn't his very first post ever, and that was, you know what I mean? It was unintentional,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
The virality portion of it, but it's not his. It wasn't his first thing. He's been trying to do that until all of a sudden, one hit, one clicked.
Yeah.
So when people say, "Oh, it's an overnight success," no.
Yeah,
The
I agree.
story may look like that.
Yeah.
The successful part may look like that.
Yeah.
But the amount of work that's been put into anything is usually a lot, bigger than
I mean, this
just-
beard is 12 plus in the game, baby.
And that's probably why it went viral. Yeah.
Well, with you though, you can shave tomorrow, and by the weekend it'll be like that.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
I like it.
No, that was beautiful, man. You guys got anything else on this topic?
Well, the last point is
ahead.
Hormozy, your boy. He also says people will, if you achieve what you're doing and you can speak to something,
Yes.
your credibility is why people will listen
Correct.
and enjoy following you. Because if you're doing what you're saying you're doing and you're successful, then all of a sudden people start to listen. So for us, people probably aren't listening right now. We have a good amount, but a lot of people will in the future as things progress and everything we've said comes to fruition. And at that point, let's go sell some property.
I love that.
I got an appointment.
Listen,
Yeah,
I
let's
know
do
I'm
it.
not that, Dave's Dime of the Week, and I'm sure that's coming.
Oh, you might be.
But there is nothing more beautiful to success than the journey to success.
That is fire. That was I forget what was your name to it. Didn't you have a special? You did, right? Yeah. All right. Well, this will bring us to my favorite section, Dave's Dime of the Week.
Dimes. I got
Bam. Do a little. What is this, Michael?
gun, bow.
Okay.
Crossbow?
Okay, an arrow. There you go. Look, so I am an artist, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
What? What is that? That's
right
a
into the camera.
Slingshot.
Slingshot.
Bow and arrow is this. Yeah.
An arrow can only be shot by pulling it backwards. So when life is dragging you down with difficulties, just know that it's going to launch you into something great.
The big philosopher. He did it again.
Hallelujah. Lord Jesus, thank you. That was fire.
It's good.
Don't
Very good.
fuck around. That was fire. All right. So listen, go be that arrow, baby. Michael, you got anything else? Tell them where to shop one time.
NoSnoozeShop.com. Like, subscribe, follow. I'm going to be posting more. Got a lot of stuff going on. A lot of announcements coming soon. Do a little teaser.
Michael's funny. He's like, yep, I'll see you guys in October.
Yeah, I'm done. September.
Throw the flag in
I'm
September.
packing it in. I got a lot of paperwork. We'll
man.
talk about.
No, listen, this is what it's all about. Thank you guys for listening. And until next time, stop snoozing.
Get up and get after it.
And think big.
That's another Effie in the books. Go follow us on Instagram and Facebook at No Snooze Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, No Snooze.